I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Milwaukee's impact wrenches. Just got these two on a heck of a deal. Home Depot was running like a $3.39 deal, I think. If you bought this one, you got this one basically almost free. This one's $2.99 usually. This one was just an additional like 40 bucks. What I think I'm going to do with this bad boy is give it away, because I don't need a 3/8 impact. I've got the Stubby, which gets me in and out of most trouble. I mean, this thing is good enough to work on a car all day long. I rarely run into anything it can't get off. I'm not sure if I have recently, honestly. It takes all the lug nuts off and everything, no problem. Why I upgraded, I used to have an older version of this that was non-fuel, but I ended up selling it because I knew I was going to get a bigger half-inch impact soon. So I picked this one up, and just as a matter of coincidence, this was like basically thrown in for free. So we're going to talk about maybe giving this one away once I figure out how to do giveaways on YouTube. I got to follow the rules here. This one here, this is a bad mamma jamma. This thing is extremely potent. It has 1,600 foot-pounds of nut-busting torque, okay? So there's basically nothing that this will not take off, unless you're basically going to be having to work on, like, huge construction equipment where you'd want to be upgrading to, like, the 1-inch version. I'm never going to get into anything like that. Most of my stuff's automotive restoration and small engine, like lawnmowers. You've seen me do some snowblower stuff on the channel as well. And the Stubby is great for that. Okay, it's 3/8 inch. I've got the Stubby. And so I want to talk about the Stubby just for a second before I get into these two. This is my go-to all-day, everyday impact. I run it most of the time with one of these blocky style batteries, okay? I don't know what else to call it. And the best thing about this is it gets even smaller, okay, if you throw one of the small batteries in. I know a lot of people get rid of these, but if you're in a tight situation where you're barely fitting the Stubby in anyway, you might as well rock one of these so you can get in and out a little bit easier on all the angles, okay? It's quite a bit smaller than having that blocky bit on the end of there. All right, so there's my plug for the Stubby. Okay, this thing's a hero in my garage. But this is going to come out when I'm doing some super heavy stuff, or if I really just want to explode the seized together rusty stuff. A lot of times I run into some rust that instead of torching it and cutting it, maybe I'll just put that on it and just snap it. Okay, I do that sometimes, okay? And sometimes it's inevitable that it's going to snap anyway. All right, so let's check this thing out. It's cold in here, so my fingers are barely working. Bear with me. Oh, goodness. All right. Okay. And what I like about Milwaukee is they don't really include a whole lot of fluff. There's the big bad boy right here. And then just a couple of things that if you want to read them, you can. And this is the manual. It's pretty self-explanatory. But there are some things that you probably should know about it. Like it's got modes, okay? So if you need to know about the modes, you are going to want to get into the manual. I'm not going to go ahead and explain every single mode on this video. Maybe I'll do that in a different one, but obviously I just took it out, so I need to get a little bit more familiar with it before I just start spouting off things about it. Let's chop a battery in there. Okay, this would be how you'd be running it, and it feels good. I like that they put the trigger back a little bit. I think in the last one I had, it was a little bit more far forward, and it was tougher to reach if I was just under a car or something. I kind of had to set it down to touch it. And this one does have the LEDs, which is super nice because some of them just have a small LED, and it only basically lights up the socket itself, not really anything around it. So this lights up quite a bit more than that. It feels well balanced, okay? I'm going to say that. It feels balanced. I was a little worried that it was going to be chunky, but my last one was quite a bit larger than this. It was probably this long, okay? So that one felt real chunky, and I was kind of concerned here. But that one feels good. Compare it next to the Stubby. Let's get that stuff out of the way. Compare it next to the Stubby. You can see why, if you're working all day long with stuff, you might want the smaller unit, okay? It's a lot lighter in the hand and gets in and out of everything real easy. This, yeah, it's going to take the thing off like Hercules. Sometimes you don't need that. And it's also 4 times, 5 times the weight and 5 times the size. Okay, so it's not going to fit nearly into all the same spots as a Stubby would. And hey, let's bring it all back. Keep an eye out for the giveaway on this one. I got to figure out how to do a giveaway. It is the 3/8 mid-torque 296020. And it's got 550 foot-pounds of fastening, 600 foot-pounds of nut busting. 4 different modes. Okay, so this thing is legit. Stay tuned. I'm going to figure out how to give this away.